So good day everyone. So today we are going to tackle about RA 7796 or the TESDA Act of 1994. So it is Technical Education and Skills Development Authority. So what is TESDA? So TESDA is the Technical Education and Skills Development Authority. So it is the government agency tasked to manage and supervise technical education and skills development in the Philippines. So the vision of TESDA is the leading partner to the development of Filipino workforce with world-class competence and positive work values. So the mission of TESDA is TESDA provides direction, policies, programs, and standard towards quality technical education and skills development. So next is value statement. So we believe in demonstrated competence, institutional integrity, personal commitment, and deep sense of nationalism. So let's proceed to the historical and background of RA 7796, which is the TESDA of 1994. So RA 7796 is an act creating the Technical Education and Skills Development Authority, providing for its power, structure, and for other purposes. So, the purpose of TESDA is this act aims to encourage full participation of and mobilize the industry, labor, local government units, and technical vocational institutions in the skill development of the country's human resources. So, Section 2, Declaration of Policy. So, it is hereby declared the policy of the state to provide relevant, accessible, high quality, and efficient technical education and skills development in support of the development of high quality Filipino middle level manpower responsive to and in accordance with Philippine development goals and priorities. So let's proceed to the section 3, which is the statement of goals and objectives. So it is to promote and strengthen the quality of technical education and skills development programs to attain international competitiveness. So next is the focus technical education and skills development on meeting the changing demands for quality middle level manpower. Next is the encourage critical and creative thinking by disseminating the scientific and technical knowledge base of middle-level manpower development programs. So next is recognize and encourage the complementary roles of public and private institutions and technical education and skills development and training system. So last is inculcate desirable values through the development of moral character with emphasis on work ethic, self-discipline, self-reliance, and nationalism. So next is the Commission for Education or EDCOM. So there are three organizations, which is the National Manpower and Youth Council or NMYC, DOLE and Apprenticeship Program of the Bureau of Local Employment of DOLE, and the third is a Bureau of Technical and Vocational Educations or BTVE. So these three organizations are connected to Technical Education and Skills Development Act was formed. So let's proceed to the policies and objectives of TESDA. So next is international competitiveness. So it is to promote and strengthen the quality of technical education and skills development programs to attain international trade trends. So international competitiveness is an economy can be considered internationally competitive if it succeeds in selling its products on world market. So without terms of trade deteriorating, so price of imported goods if the prices of a country's imported goods fall. So this means an improvement in the terms of trade. So the concept of international competitiveness is often used in analyzing countries' macroeconomic performance and also it compares for a country and its trading partners a number of salient economic features that can help explain international trade trends. So the importance of international competitiveness is exports relatively cheaper, leading to higher demands for export. So export growth has been a significant factor in Chinese economic growth. So it is to improve competitiveness will help improve a country's current account deficit. So it also help to reduce inflation in the economy. So quality middle level manpower. So it is to focus technical education and skill development on meeting the changing the demands for quality level middle level manpower. So middle level manpower include those who have acquired practical skills and knowledge through formal or non-formal education and training equivalent to at least secondary education, but preferably post-secondary education with a corresponding degree or diploma, and skilled workers who have become highly competent their trade or craft as attested by the industry. So under the new EO, TESDA is also ordered to ensure that all skills and development programs and schemes conform with the objectives the TESDP 2018-2022, and all skills training and development are aligned with the Philippine Qualifications Framework and all institutions' national standards. So moreover, TESDA is also mandated to monitor the plan's implementations and conduct periodic assessment to evaluate its efficiency and effectivity. So semiannual reports must also be submitted by TESDA through the Department of Trade and Industry to the Office of the President of the implementation of NTESDP 2018-2022. So the funding for the implementation of the newly approved plan shall also be sourced from appropriations intended for the skills development and training programs of TESDA and respective budgets of concerned national government agencies. So scientific and technical knowledge based. So it is to encourage critical and creative thinking by disseminating the scientific and technical knowledge based of middle level manpower development program. So it is in contrast to industrial knowledge, scientific technology related knowledge is generally published in the form of articulated explicit knowledge that includes papers, books, and reports, so information about which is mostly stored in a database and has a great significance in terms of information by author, country, and field. So NPRS include scientific papers such as academic papers and conference proceeding and other literatures such as books, manuals, technical reports, thesis, index, abstract, databases, dictionaries, standards, and catalogs. So, SIC is the Canadian Standard Industrial Classification or Economic Sector as defined by Canadian government officials. So and ISIC is the International Standard Industrial Classification Revision 3. So it is economic sector as defined by international standard. So roles of public and private institutions. So it is to recognize and encourage the complementary roles of public and private institutions in technical education and skills development. So, public and colleges and universities are higher education institutions that are mainly funded by state government. So, in contrast, private colleges and universities rely on students' tuition fees, alumni, and endowments to fund their academic programs. So, private colleges can be either for profit or non-profit. So the private institution sets forth the curriculum and examinations for its internal programs and confers a certificate or diploma. So most of these institutions attract low quality students who cannot get admission to state higher educational institution. So public institutions means any entity established or controlled by the federal government or state government or local government or municipality, including but not limited institutions of higher education and related research institutions. So private sources of funding and investment revenue are more important at private institutions than at public ones. So those trends will probably continue to shift in the future. So tuition and students fee revenue is more important at private institutions and small public ones than most public institutions. So though as the burden of funding shifts onto the graduate rather than the taxpayer, fee revenue will increase in importance in public institutions too. So public institutions are more closely monitored by the governmental bodies and can be pawns in political disputes. So private institutions have a greater dependence on fundraising and relationships with alumni and major donors, so both have a place in higher education. So the last is desirable value. So it is to inculcate desirable values through the development of moral character with emphasis on work ethics, self-discipline, and self-reliance. So it is something that is desirable, is worth having or doing because it is useful, necessary, or popular. So values are basic and fundamental beliefs that guide or motivate attitudes or actions, so they help us to determine what is important to us. So values in a narrow sense is that which is good, desirable, or worthwhile. So values are the motive behind purposeful action. So it is important because values reflect our sense of right and wrong. So they help us grow and develop. So individual values reflect how we live our life and what we consider important for our own self-interest. So individual values include enthusiasm, creativity, humility, and personal fulfillment. So let's proceed to the programs and activities in TESDA. So there are three based, which is the institution based, enterprise based, and community based. So TESDA shall accredit, coordinate, integrate, monitor, and evaluate all the different formal and non-formal technical vocational education and training programs. So let's have first the institution base. So these are program being implemented within the schools and training centers situated nationwide. So an institution-based view focuses on the dynamic relations of institution and organizations and considers strategic choices as the result of such an interaction. So the institution-based view attends to institutional forces such as economic reforms and government policy which may affect a firm's success or failure. So the institution-based view of strategy is the result of a consideration of both these streams of research in the context of business strategy. So it conceives strategic choices as the result of the dynamic interaction between organizations and the formal and informal institutional environment. So institutional management means management of different programs and activities. So it is the process of putting things together in a harmonious manner and relationship do that they may function more effectively in the management of an educational program. So enterprise based. So these are training programs undertaken within the confines of the actual work environment. So enterprise based programs are training programs being implemented within companies or firms. So apprenticeship program is a training and employment program involving a contract between an apprentice and an employer. So approve apprenticeable occupation. So Learnership program is a practical training on the job for approved learnable occupations for a period not exceeding 3 months. So only companies with TESDA approved and registered learnership programs can hire learners. So dual training system is an instructional mode of delivery for technology-based education and training in which learning takes place alternately in two venues, which is the school or training center and the company. So the last is community based. So these are programs being implemented at the local levels in order to respond the specific needs of the area. So community based refers to a philosophical approach in which communities have an active role and participate in highlighting and addressing the issues that matter to them. So this challenges community members to identify what the issues are and to work together to address those issues. So the reference-based resources are published works by academics and experts and other authority sites. So for example, so while community-based might be sites online where the community gather and interact like social media sites and etc. So note the featured image. So when services are community based, the work done with the child and family is in the context of where the child lives. So the community or the faith based organizations, so it is a non-profit agencies, neighbors, and other institutions can offer additional positive informal supports to child and family. So community-based employment is one area where clients can develop work skills and focus on their desired employment goals and outcomes. So, in the community, the time of day is based on the employer's needs. So, this could be early in the morning, so regular working hours, or evening and weekends. So, TESDA is a government agency tasked to manage and supervise technical education and skills development in the Philippines. It can mobilize different sectors in the country. However, because of COVID-19 pandemic, activities from different sectors were negatively affected, giving great damage in the economy. So TESDA Act can help to rebuild the country's economy and in political and in order to increase our stability of living. So that's all.